Hey guys, Delaney stepping in here really quick to talk to you a little bit about what's coming up in this episode. So this is our episode 2. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is a very long episode. Well, rather, this is a very long conspiracy theory / event that I covered in this episode. So we didn't realize how long it would run when we were actually filming it. Because of that, we felt like it would be in everyone's best interest to go ahead and split this video into 2 parts. So what you're going to see today is part 1 of the event that I covered. It covers the first 2 most prevalent conspiracy theories about this event. Part 2, which will come out 2 weeks from today, which I believe is the Wednesday right before Thanksgiving. That part 2 will cover a couple more conspiracy theories that are a little bit more obscure and less well known about this event. So with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for following. Thank you for your support in general. That means the world to us.
Are we gonna do what we always do and like laugh a bunch, or
just in the beginning?
It's just like cackle. No, that's not what I meant.
Oh, that's our opening now. I'm editing this one. I'm gonna make it zoom in and everything.
Yes, I can't wait. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of Conspiracy Complex, where Delaney and I talk about a conspiracy theory and get way too drunk while doing it.
So today, we are going to start you off with a drink, as always.
Yes.
The drink we're doing today is
red wine, apple cider, sangria. Ooh, that was good. That was good. Okay. This recipe is from zestfulkitchen.com. Shouts out to them. Thank you for that. So let's get into it. Why don't we? First, you're gonna need a pitcher.
Because you're going to mix everything into it.
Yes, and you're gonna need a whole bottle of red wine.
Whole bottle of red wine. This recipe makes 5 cups, so 5 servings.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a little bit left over today.
And in Delaney and Megland, that's about 2 because we're ridiculous. 5 servings. We're just gonna fill the whole cup.
Oh yeah.
It's like 2 servings.
Yeah. So first you're gonna add the entire bottle of red wine.
That got a little wild there for a second.
I think we should add the apples first.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's gonna splash. That's okay.
There's an entire bottle of red wine. For anyone who is curious, this is the only red wine that I fuck with. This is the Stella Rosa Black. It literally tastes like a fruit roll-up. It is a red wine. It's very sugary, very great.
I've actually never had this one, but I trust her judgment.
Ooh, you won't like it. It is a game changer.
So something we should have done first that we didn't think all the way through is add the apples. So you might see some interestingness. I washed my hands, by the way. Wash your hands, wash your fruit.
And she's gonna add 2 whole sliced apples to the mixture, which we pre-cut to save y'all some time and some boring.
Also us
battling, because y'all get enough of that, but I mean, you keep coming back, so joke's on you.
Next, we're gonna need 1.5 cups of apple cider.
Apple cider.
Make sure you shake your cider. You don't want chunky cider. No one likes chunky cider.
Ew, chunky cider.
I'm gonna have to get down to its level. I think that was a pretty good pour off. This is what being friends with us is like. We just sing randomly.
We're real entertaining, obviously.
Obviously. So we got our 1.5 cups of apple cider. This already smells like an apple orchard. I'm very happy. We need that still. Next up, we're gonna do 1/2 cup. It says to do orange liqueur, but we're gonna do orange triple sec because it's what we have.
It's what we have, and it's a liqueur technically.
Yes. So 1/2 cup.
Oh, sorry.
You're good. All right. Woo. And then next up, we need. It says okay. Here's the thing. It says 4 cardamom pods. You'll learn that I can't talk. It's just like not a thing. Crushed. But all we have, all we have is crushed cardamom. So I'm gonna go ahead and guess that that's like about a teaspoon. I could be very. Let's go.
So, some things happened.
First of all, it's Mercury retrograde.
Yeah.
So, in true retrograde fashion, Delaney's phone decided that it was gonna take the day off.
It's always my phone, by the way. It gives us technical issues.
Halfway through the recording, it was like, you know what? I'm done for the day. Good night. I'm done.
Good night. It's 10 o'clock. It's an old man, my phone is.
When we last were with you, we were putting in the ground cardamom. I said crushed. We have ground.
Yeah.
I want to make
it's
that
supposed
clear.
to be crushed.
It's supposed
but all
to be
we found
crushed.
was ground, and you know what? Some is better
It's supposed
than
to be 4 crushed cardamom pods.
Pods.
I said it right. I said it right, okay?
But we put in a teaspoon of crushed. No,
ground.
Fucking Christ. We put in a teaspoon
of ground cardamom.
Thank you. Cardamom.
And then after the cardamom is 4 whole cloves. You just throw those bad boys in there. And then 2 cinnamon sticks.
2 cinnamon sticks, and then you stir it up. And you marinate it for what the website said to be 30 minutes to overnight. So, you know.
Ours has been in there for about an hour now because we were stressed and trying to figure some things out.
Yeah.
So this is our finished sangria.
Finished sangria. So now we're going to put in glass. We gotta put ice in it first.
Oh, you want to put ice in it? Yeah, ice.
Yeah. We're gonna put ice in it.
Ice me, baby.
And then we're gonna get it going.
Get it. And it says to garnish it with apple slices. This is a big slice. We're gonna throw that bad boy in there. And a cinnamon stick. And also it said star anise, but they didn't have star anise at the store that I went to, so we don't have that in there. There we go.
Oh, they're so pretty.
All right.
Cheers,
Debbie.
Woo!
Ooh,
that's good.
That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Guys, this is fruity.
Mm-hmm.
Tastes like a fruit roll-up, does it not?
It does taste like a fruit roll-up, but like
it's a sophisticated fruit roll-up, actually.
It's a fancy fruit roll-up because we're grown-ups.
But seriously, guys, this is really, really good.
So good.
All right, cheers.
Cheers. We'll see you in a minute.
Back at it again.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
How's it going? How's life?
Do y'all have your drinks in hand? This one does, and she's the one who's gonna be drinking today.
Oh, and my word, I decided amidst all of the chaos that is our life, the word is plain.
Because I'm telling y'all about Amelia Earhart today. So the drinking game is whenever you hear me say the word plane or airplane, you're drinking along with Megan here. And y'all gonna get drunk. So,
yay!
Unless you were responsible today and you joined us with a coffee or a tea or a water or a non-alcoholic beverage I had not previously listed.
Juice. Good Capri Sun.
A Capri Sun.
Listen.
What's your favorite Capri Sun flavor?
I'm gonna have to go with like fruit punch.
It's a solid one.
It's a good one. What's yours?
Strawberry kiwi.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, anything with kiwi in it, I'm there.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's my favorite Snapple flavor.
Oh, I didn't know that was a Snapple flavor.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, is it the pink one?
It's the pink one.
Oh,
it's a good one.
I like a good peach tea for a Snapple.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one too.
I'm a real Southern belle all of a sudden with the peach tea.
Just with Snapple.
Just with Snapple. Nothing else.
Nothing else.
And saying my stars apparently in the last
stars.
in the last part. Anyway, y'all better strap in because this one is a long one and it's a crazy one. We've got a lot of conspiracies to litter your mind with today.
Litter your mind.
Litter.
Okay. That's what we're here for.
So,
hi, Elsa.
I'm going. Oh, hi, Sita. Hello, my love. Oh, he's so sweet. Oh, she's so excited we're sitting down.
I know.
My dog goes crazy when we're filming because she's extremely clingy and always wants to cuddle. So she hates it when we're standing up. So now that we are sitting down and she can get her little paws on us, she's probably going to be joining us if you see a little head. That's why.
That's what that is. It's a dog.
A little dog head. A little dog head, baby. Mwah, good girl. Okay. So let's talk about Amelia Earhart. Are you ready?
Let's crack into it.
Let's crack into it. Fun fact, guys, we recorded this episode before, but lots of technical difficulties. It didn't really work. And she doesn't remember it because it's been so long. I remember telling her, though.
And, like, the thing is, I think Amelia Earhart hates us because we've been trying to record this all day. This is the second time we've done this episode, and we've had technical difficulties all day long. So she's a little angry.
All we're trying to do is shine light on this story.
Yes.
All we're trying to do.
We want people to know what happened.
I'm a huge fan of Amelia Earhart, actually.
Right,
I want to get a pilot's license because of her.
Dope. Do it.
Yeah, that'd be so fun.
I'll be your own personal stewardess. It'll be great.
Oh my god, that'd be so fun.
I already know how to do it. It's already my job. Well, not anymore. It was my job.
That would be so fun.
It would be so fun.
Alright, so first I'm going to give you some backstory on Amelia Earhart.
Let's go.
She was born on July 24th, 1897 in Addison, Kansas.
Oh, she a Leo.
Is she?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, she is. And she did a lot of stuff in her life. She was really interested in planes and you're welcome. And interested in navigation from a really young age. She also had interest in baseball and mechanics and college, which for the time was unheard of for a woman to go to college since this was so early on in the 1900s.
Yeah.
So she was really defying gender roles from the very beginning. And so a lot of people were not happy with this, obviously.
Of course.
So that did garner her some unwanted negative attention from, I don't want to say press because it seems like for the most part, the press that we can come across now seem very positive and like just unbelievable, sensational. Oh my God, look at a woman outside the kitchen. Oh
yeah, but that
God.
can also be like very washed over with time.
Exactly. That's what I was exactly going to say.
You know how media can like...
Yeah. But, she did a lot of flights and stuff like that before she took her actual flight that we know her for going missing.
Right.
She was actually the first person to cross the Atlantic in a plane. Yeah, we're coming in hot with this shit, guys. That was on June 17th, 1928.
Okay.
And then...
It's the day after my birthday. Well, obviously not in 1928.
That is the day after your birthday. You're looking real good for 92.
You already know it.
91.
I don't know. Don't ask me to math.
Yeah, one of them.
One of them.
But she also, in May of 1932, she flew solo from Newfoundland to Canada and to Ireland.
Oh, okay.
And that trip took her like 15 hours, and she was the second person in the world to complete that specific flight.
Nice.
So she was already out here setting records and shit before she ever even tried to circumnavigate the globe.
She's just a bad bitch.
She's a bad bitch.
She's a bad bitch.
In that flight, her plane suffered a leak in the fuel tank, and the manifold cracked, causing the engine to spew flames. So she had to cut that one short.
Fun. Love that. Love a good burning plane.
Yeah, now you're just doing it to yourself, girl. But yeah, so that, she was no stranger to malfunctions and disrepair and danger. That was in May of 1932. In August of 1932, she then decided to fly from LA to New Jersey.
Yes.
She set the record for the longest distance flown without refueling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she out here setting records. She was the first female pilot to complete a nonstop transcontinental flight.
Ooh.
Because of that flight.
Awesome.
So she was out here, like you said, being a bad bitch.
Being a bad bitch, for sure.
And so in 1935, so a couple years before she set to circumnavigate the globe, a couple years after she made that trip from LA to New Jersey, she was also became the first person to ever fly to Hawaii.
Ooh.
From the mainland.
Nice.
Yeah. And she was also decorated with a Distinguished Flying Cross, which is a military decoration for heroism and extraordinary achievement aerially.
Nice.
She was the first woman to get that.
Dope. She really is just out here being a bad bitch. Okay.
Being a bad bitch. Earhart, then after her Hawaii flight, she then intended to circumnavigate the globe at the equator a couple years later in 1937. So her goal was to go from California to Mexico, Mexico to Florida, Florida to South America, and then hop around in South America, fly over to Africa, hop around a couple times in Africa, go to the Middle East, hit Indonesia, hit Australia, and Australia back to California.
Okay.
That's a 29,000 mile total trip, taking 40 plus days. And she intended to do this in her plane, which was a twin engine Lockheed 10 Electra. So that is important later on to know the part of the plane, or the type of the plane. Now this was specially outfitted with tanks to carry 1,000 plus gallons of fuel instead of the standard 200. So she could then do this more efficiently and set more records.
Right.
She first attempted this flight on March 17th of 1937.
Okay.
But she was experiencing periodic problems while flying across the Pacific. So as soon as she departed from California, she was experiencing issues. She flew straight to Hawaii. She landed for repairs, and 3 days later she attempted to take off when Earhart lost control, looping the plane on the runway, and they didn't know how or why that happened. But the plane became severely damaged and was sent back to California for repairs. So then she decided to take a couple more months, regroup, and then eventually ended up departing on her famous trek around the globe on May 21st. So a couple months later, 1937. Now, Amelia Earhart disappeared on July 2nd of 1937 while she was on this journey. Now, when she disappeared, she was, I'm so sorry if I pronounce it wrong. I want to say it's Ley, New Guinea. If it's not, please let me know nicely.
Constructive criticism, people.
Constructive criticism. I'm learning. I'm trying. And anyway, that's where she was leaving. She was heading down to Australia, and she had a full tank of gas. She was 22,000 miles into her trip. She only had that 7,000 left to go. And she had planned to stop at a tiny, tiny island called Howland Island to refuel, which is about 18 hours away from her current location in New Guinea. She had arranged for the traffic control operator, Harry Balfour, to talk to her hourly between destinations. Mm-hmm. And he had communicated to her that the headwinds were stronger than expected, which is important because that affects not only her speed, but that affects her fuel consumption and the length of the flight completely.
Right.
And I know you know that since you were a stewardess, but for the people who don't know that and are not familiar with planes or flight, how it works, that is significant for her to know. Right. So Balfour communicated this to Earhart 3 times over 2 hours. And it did not seem that Earhart received these messages. So the transmissions that were received by Balfour from Earhart were that the speed was 140 knots. She was at 7,000 feet in the air. And then the next hour, her altitude was 10,000 feet. So not only was she climbing in altitude, which didn't make sense for her at the time because the whole reason that they were communicating was so she could land and get more fuel, these also seemed to be delayed responses to his questions.
Right.
And so they estimated that 97 gallons of fuel were left by reaching Howland Island. And then the Coast Guard ship, the Itasca, was set up to provide communications to her for arrival. That way she could safely land on the ship, get the fuel, and depart. Now, this ship had heard transmissions from Earhart. They said, "We must be on you, but we cannot see you, and gas is running low." And at 8:43 in the morning, they got the transmission from Earhart saying, "We're on the line at 157-337. We will repeat message on 6210 kilocycles." And basically that just means they're running through all the channels on the radio, repeating that.
Right.
And we're running north and south. Now, these were from Earhart herself, and she sounded very frantic while she was supposedly telling the Itasca this.
Right.
Now, that is the last thing that they heard from her because she never arrived at Howland Island. Itasca never heard from her after that. And the Coast Guard searched waters northwest of the island almost immediately and couldn't find anything. And on the 7th of July, so this was on the 2nd, so 5 days later, the U.S. Coast Guard got there and searched the southeast region of the island until 7/18. So they searched for like a week and a half.
Right.
For her. Didn't see any sign of her.
Is southeast like the direction that the current would have taken her, or like?
Oh, that's a good question. I actually never even looked into that.
Because like, why are they? Because they said that the Itasca, right, searched north of the island. Why would they search northeast? The opposite? Would that be like the current, probably?
Yeah. I honestly think that would be part of it. I think also too, since that line the longitudinal line that she said she was on, that runs north south. So I think they were going like. When I looked at the map, the island is right here. Yeah, so I think they were running along that line.
Okay, got it.
I think is what they were doing. So the entire arrangement that Earhart had set up was that the Itasca was stationed right off of the Howland Islands. The Howland Islands themselves are very, very small, and they're very similar in shape to low cloud formations. They're very like strung out, right, long and skinny. So she set up communication with them basically just in case of overcast, in case she really couldn't tell the island from the clouds.
Right.
Now she did have a navigator on board with her. The navigator is the one that was in charge of the compasses and the maps. And they were using those and, of course, positioning of the sun to estimate their position in relation to the island and just throughout their journey. But the plan was after they aligned with the Howland Islands along that longitudinal line, then they would run north and south looking for the island, and the Itasca would throw up a smoke plume.
Okay.
So they would be, of course, more visible to Earhart. Experts state now that the evidence shows that charts where they said that they were located at would place them around 6 miles off their actual position. So while they were saying that they were running along this line, they could have been as much as 6 miles off of that line. Okay. After the searches were conducted by the Coast Guard and by the Itasca, what?
The Coast Guard?
That's what I said.
You said the postcard.
I said the fucking postcard?
Yes.
What am I
feel
like these
I could be wrong.
Are getting on Coast Guard ships? They're just doing a collab? Like, what the fuck?
And they're throwing letters into the ocean looking for Amelia Earhart.
I've got your mail!
Postcard.
Listen, I am tired.
It's been a day.
It's been a day. I'm not allowed to have a drink right now. I would like one, please. Anyway, y'all are gonna... The end of this video is gonna cut to me just fucking chugging
out of the picture.
Where's my tequila? God damn it.
Okay. Move past the postcard.
After the Coast Guard. After they did what they believed to be a thorough search of the area they believed her to be in, after the Itasca did the same on the other side of the island, and they both came to an agreement. 2 years later is when she was legally declared dead. Her and her navigator. So, rest in peace to them. That was declared in January of 1939. And they really ruled it as dying at sea.
They really held out on that one.
They really held out for a couple
2 years. That's a long time.
I think legally, though, it does have to be like 5 or something now. Oh. Like, it is a long waiting
I don't know
period.
how long it is.
I think it's... Maybe it's 5 to collect life insurance, maybe.
I wouldn't know. You would think I would know with all the true crime I watch, but no fucking idea.
I was gonna say, I was like, you kind of said that in a way that, like, I've collected before or something. And I was like...
I wouldn't know. Someone over here would. No, I think you would think I would know from, like, any of the true crime shit I watch, but I just... That wasn't a slight, all right? That wasn't any shade.
Okay.
Not this time, at least.
Yeah, so they said that she officially was declared dying at sea. They said that they declared her lost at sea in July 19th of 1937, but dead in 1939. I'm sorry, what was that?
No, I just have questions, but I feel like you're going to cover it, so.
Oh, probably. The government remains, though, saying that the plane crashed in the Pacific Ocean.
Okay. Thank you.
So, now that we've got all of the facts out the way,
Uh-huh.
let's get into why we're here, the conspiracies.
I have a question.
And there's a lot of them, yes.
I have a question, because you said that they said that she died at sea, but do they have proof of her death at sea? Are we going to get into that?
No.
I'm not going to get into that.
Oh, we're getting into it, but
Okay.
they don't.
They have, so it's just like,
There's no evidence.
hey, she died at sea, but we don't know.
They literally...
It's like an assumption based on like where she was last.
Based on where she was last seen and the fact that she was flying over the ocean, they assume that
It crashed.
she crashed and like
But like, wouldn't there be
the body was
like, I don't
missing or
know
something, but...
about y'all, but I'm obsessed with the Titanic. But there's like still pieces of the Titanic on the ocean floor, and that was in 1912, so that was like before this.
Yeah.
You're telling me there's no.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's crack into it. Let's go.
Yep. So yeah, it's interesting because investigators stated that the plane couldn't have made it to the destination even if the conditions were ideal. So even if it was the prettiest day, she could have never made it there. They believe that she would have run out of fuel.
She would have run out of food.
She would have run out of fuel.
She would have run out of food.
All the fools would have run out on her.
Listen, that sounds like the opposite of a problem, if you're asking me.
That's what we've been trying to do in our entire life.
Listen, that's what I've been trying to do. What you mean? How'd she get that to happen?
She would have run out of fuel. 35 to 100 miles off the coast.
Oh shit! So like far as fuck.
Yeah, so not 6.
Like
lots.
would have not even come close.
No.
Yeah, that's
all
far.
the open ocean.
Okay.
And they also said, the investigators also said that it was interesting because it's not that she ever said she was going down.
Right.
She never called Mayday, which, being an experienced pilot, we talked about the many treks and the many records that she held before this grand record she was going to set. She knew to call Mayday. She knew when the plane was in trouble. She knew what that specific plane felt like and looked like when it was in trouble. If she had any kind of engine trouble, fuel trouble, anything like that, she would have called Mayday. She would have known the protocol to do that.
Is it possible though that like she called Mayday and that transmission just got like lost in the fucking waves?
It definitely is. That's something else that we'll get into too. But yeah,
Okay.
I mean, definitely, since that one operator did say that he felt that the transmissions were getting delayed when
Right.
he heard her climbing in altitude.
Right.
It definitely is possible. There's just so much that could happen. But yeah, so let's
So
go
many
into
possibilities.
the most widely believed and accepted conspiracy theory, if there is one. So, conspiracy number 1 would be that her plane ran out of gas, crashing into the ocean. The same investigators said that the plane that she was in should have about 24 hours of flight, given how much fuel she had on board. But some historians estimate that she only would have had 20, given that headwind.
Right.
They also said that, actually, the Jet Propulsion Center at Caltech estimated that the plane was without fuel when they disappeared due to the headwind and at the altitude climb. So they're the ones that are saying that it would have been more like 20 hours of fuel that they had left when leaving New Guinea on the way to the Howland Islands. They're also saying that the surrounding waters of those islands are 18,000 feet deep.
Okay.
And those island waters were actually searched for 15 years, from 2002 to 2017.
Jesus Christ.
Nauticos the same company that searched for the Titanic, scoured the ocean floor, 2,000 nautical miles in this area that they believe she was last seen in, with sonar mapping, and did not come up with any results of any wreckage, any bodies, or any belongings.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's skulls and there's pieces of ship, like, from the Titanic. And that happened, like, this was 1937? Or 27?
37.
So this was like a whole 25 years later. You're telling me there's nothing left? Bull fucking shit. Bullshit.
Exactly.
Bullshit.
Exactly. It's interesting with this one because that means the most widely accepted conspiracy theory literally doesn't make sense.
Oh.
Because so many people believe that she died at sea and
Right.
crashed into the ocean. But we literally have no proof of that.
Right.
And like you just said with Titanic and everything else, there should have been at least a shred of proof.
Something. Like,
Something that
metal
would have
doesn't
led
just
us go
break
that
down
way.
in the ocean that fast.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't.
Something would have washed up.
Something.
Something. Even a shred of something.
Right. There would be a piece.
So it's interesting because we can very easily debunk that widely known and accepted conspiracy.
Right.
Or, aka, what the government tells you.
Which is all conspiracy theories.
Oh, conspiracy theories.
We're not fans of the government. Just kidding. We love them. Don't kill us.
Yeah, don't put us on a watch list. We're probably going to be on a watch list.
Listen, I'm probably already on a watch list.
And there is another conspiracy theory
Let's hear it.
that Earhart and Noonan became castaways on Gardner Island, which is what it was called then. Now it is called Niku Mororo.
Nice.
And
Did they have a Wilson?
I
Wilson! Continue.
hope they did. I hope they had something.
I hope they had
something
friends.
to keep them company.
Right.
This is a widely conceivable conspiracy theory. This one is also believed by a lot of investigators and a lot of historians.
Okay.
Because this island lies along the line that they were traveling at the time of that last transmission,
Okay.
that north-south longitudinal line.
So it makes sense.
Exactly. But it is 350 miles south of Howland Island, so quite a far way south.
And they were saying that they couldn't even make it to Howland Islands, so like how are they supposed to make it past to a different island?
Now, low tide in this area at the time could have served as an emergency landing strip for Earhart had there been something wrong with the plane, or had they run out of gas, or had they just been taken so far off course that they somehow completely missed Howland Island.
Yeah.
So Niku Mororo was actually uninhabited at the time of loss. So it was very easily for someone to search this island in hopes to find Earhart and Noonan.
Oh, so there's not like, random plane parts just laying around. Like it's an empty island.
Exactly. It's an empty
Got it.
island. So, and the Navy actually flew overhead of this island a week after the disappearance.
Oh, shit.
And they noted recent signs of habitation
On an empty island.
on an empty island.
And they weren't like,
Well, they didn't see a plane. So they were like, can't be them.
That is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
And kept going. Mm-hmm.
That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, no plane? Can't be them. It's an empty island, though, and there's people.
Mm-hmm.
My guy. Get it together.
So that's also why so many people in this area of work believe this theory to be the most plausible.
Mm-hmm.
And so much so there is a agency called Tigar who specializes in this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And since 1983, this Tigar Association has taken several trips to that island.
Mm-hmm.
And not only have they taken trips, they've also recovered some artifacts and evidence to support this conspiracy theory.
Ooh, I'm all about the evidence, y'all. Let's hear it. What's the evidence?
So, among the most noted evidence, they have found a cosmetics jar from the 1930s. It is a jar of freckle cream, which at this time was used to lighten your freckles and then make you more, quote, beautiful, unquote.
Which is wild because now people legit draw freckles on.
Right.
Isn't that wild how trends change? I mean, obviously it was 100 years ago almost, but like,
yeah. Oh, shit.
Wild.
It was almost 100 years ago. That's crazy.
90 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Wild that that's like the trend now is to like have
Right.
freckles and like, that's something gets to look.
Exactly. And also, if y'all have either seen a picture or Google Amelia Earhart, she has freckles all over her face.
Yeah, she's very fair.
So this would definitely have been something that she would have carried. Now,
Or been interested in.
who's been interested in it now? Who's to say that it belongs to her? We're of course not sure.
Yeah, that's really conjecture at this point.
Yeah, I mean, she wasn't super girly like we talked about. Typically, quote, stereotypically, quote, girly. So who knows if she even cared, if her freckles made a difference.
Watch Noonan just be the one that had the He's like, I have to put on my freckle cream. You don't understand.
And shit, who
Listen,
knows?
it could have been. And that's okay.
And that is okay. But just saying that is a potential thing she would have carried at the time. It is correct historically for women to have that.
And within the time frame.
Within that time frame. They also found some improvised tools on the island.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now, Amelia Earhart, knowing mechanics, knowing liking to build things, liking to do things with her hands, definitely an intelligent woman. She definitely could have used improvised tools while she was on this uninhabited island waiting for someone to rescue her.
Very cool.
Yeah. So they also, on Nikumaroro, they did find some bones on one of these excavations.
Oh, shit.
So let's just keep in mind, guys, this is more than we found in the fucking ocean.
It's more than we found in the ocean. Because in the ocean, we found absolutely fucking nothing.
Nothing. Lots of wildlife. That's about it.
Lots of cute turtles.
Turtles.
Turtle.
So these bones were thought to be a likely match to Amelia Earhart by an anthropologist at UT Knoxville.
Okay.
He analyzed the paperwork that was done on them after these bones were found and did say that they could have been a likely match to a taller woman from that time period and from that age that Amelia was. Now, Amelia was a taller woman. If I remember correctly, she was around 5'7" or 5'9", I believe.
I was going to say I feel like she was 5'7".
Yeah, so definitely a taller woman. Just so all y'all know, the average woman in the U.S. is around 5'4", 5'5". So definitely taller than average. So these bones were found in 1939 or 1940 on a British...
Sorry, the cinnamon is like breaking open the cup nozzle.
Oh.
I had like a chunk of cinnamon on my tongue. Sorry.
But so in 1939 and 1940, these are when these bones were discovered.
Right.
They were actually discovered by a British colonial officer named Gerald Gallagher.
Good old Gerald.
Yeah.
Jerry.
Good old Jerry. He was doing a, gosh, what would you call it now? Basically, he was trying to take this island.
Oh, so he was colonizing.
Yes, he was
Fun.
colonizing. This was a colonization trip.
They're so good at that. That's all they really know how to do.
Mm-hmm. And so he went there. So keep in mind, this was 1939, 1940.
They're still out there colonizing in the 30s?
Yeah.
Girl, fucking find another job. Shit. It is. That's. I mean, like, I feel like that's wild to me.
Right. That it was so recent.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm. Well, because they were like, oh, it's a free fucking island. No one's here. Yeah, except these bones. No
except these dead people.
You know.
I hope you got haunted, Jerry.
To be fair, he might have just been on orders. We don't really know.
That's true.
But also, that's a whole nother can of worms.
That's a whole other can of worms. We could really get into that if you want to.
Yes, we could. We'd piss a lot of people off. Anyway.
We sure would. We're going to at this show anyway.
We're going to.
It's fine. Continue.
But anyway, so Gerald Gallagher, flopping along the island, right?
Right.
He comes across... I was thinking with his feet, but I mean, if you want to rowboat on some sand, yeah, sure, girl.
He's just like... I was thinking like in the ocean, because you said he comes upon this island. I was thinking like in the ocean in a rowboat.
No, he was there on the island
okay.
colonize it. He's walking around.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, we're on the same page now.
So he came across campsite remnants.
Okay.
And a box for a sextant, which I know you know what that is. But for people who don't know, planes, whatever, the sextant is a tool that detects the latitude and longitude of your current location. And not only did he find now plane remnants, guys, but he also found partial human skeletons.
More than one.
Multiple.
You know,
skeletons.
like the multiple people on Amelia Earhart's aircraft.
You know. Now, these bones, right after they were found, they were analyzed by a person on a neighboring island called D.W. Hoodless. And he determined...
That's the guy's name or the island?
I'm sorry, this was the guy's name. This was,
okay. I was like, that's an interesting name for an island.
No. This is the medical examiner.
Okay.
So he determined that the bones were that of a man who was short, stocky, and of European descent.
So Noonan.
Not Noonan, because Noonan was neither short nor stocky.
Ugh!
Yeah.
Rude.
So
see, when I picture Noonan, I picture like a little chubby guy.
Right, me
with
too.
A bow tie.
Yeah, that's not what Noonan looked like. He was
Oh.
kind of an average person. Yeah.
That's a disappointment.
Now, D.W. Hoodless
Oh God, here we go.
was like, I don't know who this person is, but it's not Amelia Earhart, so I don't care. And then discarded the bones.
No, he didn't.
In an unknown way.
I fucking remember
in
this.
an unknown location.
I remember this because I was so fucking mad. I was like, what is wrong with you?
If there's nothing we've learned from true crime or conspiracy theory podcasts or whatever, it's that the police, when they drop a ball, they drop a ball.
They drop it hard.
And it makes it real goddamn difficult to do anything.
Like, even if you weren't looking for a missing person, like, how fucking disrespectful and shitty are you that you threw away someone's bones?
Because the only mindset that I could even think he had would be that, okay, it's an uninhabited island.
Okay.
This person is not who we're looking for. And because it's an uninhabited island, maybe they don't have any family. But, you know, at least give them a burial.
But, like, also, other people disappear at sea. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
other people do.
Oh, my God.
He's just so dope. He didn't take pictures of that.
Like, nothing. Like, saved nothing.
He
Gave me
notes.
literally negative.
He took some... He drew. He made some drawings.
Oh, wow.
And took some notes. And then I'm assuming created
He's like,
them?
here's my abstract interpretation of this skeleton. It's like a Salvador Dali abstract painting.
He's like all melting on one side. Like, I took some creative liberties.
I took some creative liberties, but this is what we found pretty much. It's close enough.
Got bored today.
God. Oh. I do remember that part, actually.
Yep. I knew as soon as I said his name, I was like, this is going to trigger some random shit. Because it's a random name.
It is a random name.
But yeah, so fast forward to more present day.
Okay.
There's an international group for historical aircraft recovery.
Yep.
They use modern technology and the original measurements of the bones to determine that the bones could have been that of a woman of European descent who was taller than average. So that's where her height comes in, where she was...
So that's why he thought it was like a short man, because if it was a tall woman... Oh my God, fuck this dude.
Exactly.
He sucks.
Which clearly, it doesn't sound like they found a pelvis among the skeleton.
Right.
Because it did say 12 bones. Obviously, we have more than 12 bones in our body, guys.
Do we?
So
maybe you do. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe you do, you fucking weirdo. I'm kidding.
Listen, the way I'm cracking and shit over here, I probably have like 3. I don't know.
Just 3.
Just 3.
They crack when you move. You're like a little glow stick.
Just like an opposable Barbie.
You only bend
at 90-degree angles. If anyone's watching this without sound, they're probably just like, did they just get possessed? We both just like...
I've always been possessed, actually.
So, is it not?
We'll never fucking know because...
We'll never fucking know because we can't get any DNA because Hoodless decided that wasn't going to be a thing. Anyway.
Moving on.
Now, why did we only find 12 bones? That was the next question that they had because, well, we found a partial skeleton and 12 bones. So, like, why didn't we find a whole skeleton? It was only a couple years later. Yeah, that's definitely part of it there. It might have been tide coming in, sweeping them away. The president of the group I mentioned earlier, his name is Rick Gillespie. He stated that the partial skeleton might be due to the coconut crabs that are indigenous to this island.
I remember this. You made me,
I know you do.
You made me Google a coconut crab and I was traumatized.
Google a fucking coconut crab, guys. Thank you, because I forgot about that part. They're fucking terrifying,
They're
first
huge.
of all. They're huge. They're like 3 feet long.
They're huge.
They're things that nightmares should be made of.
They are made of. My nightmares were made of those.
You're welcome. Now, Rick stated that these coconut crabs, they have big pinchers because they actually eat coconuts. So they've got...
Anyway.
Your face was the best part. You are so proud. You're like, ha.
You weren't even moving either. It wasn't even like a big deal. You were just like, okay, this is happening, I guess.
Yeah, so just like that.
But bigger.
Coconut crabs crunch coconuts. And,
they eat, they eat the shells?
Yeah, so they grab it and they press it so they can, drink it and eat the meat.
Oh,
and
so
stuff.
they could totally, crack my skull.
Yeah, they can crack your skull if they think you have a coconut for a head. Who's that guy that played Coconut Head on It's a Classified? Because he should never go to this island.
Never go to that island, Coconut Head, if for some reason you're watching.
That'd be dope.
That'd be dope. I hope you do watch Coconut Head. Manifestations.
But anyway, so Rick Gillespie said that he hypothesized that these coconut crabs were taking these bones, possibly cracking them, taking them to their caves to make burrows, or possibly eating them.
Real ick.
Yeah, lots of fucking ick.
That's a hard no for me.
And then, of course, there was a picture that was taken in 1937 by the British explorer. So, same year that they went missing.
Right.
Another British explorer was there on a trip. They took a picture, and guys, Google this picture. I don't have it to show you, unfortunately. But
maybe we can
there's a guy standing, and then there in the background you see the ocean, and then there's something standing right here. That is a landing gear from a plane sticking out of the water.
Are you fucking shitting me?
So we got some evidence behind this one, guys. Just saying.
There's a whole ass landing gear on the island, and you're like, oh, she died at sea. They just don't want to admit that they were fucking negligent and missed the island.
Exactly. They don't want to get that one Navy airman in trouble because he was like,
Navy airman that's no longer alive.
Yeah, basically. The other reason that they think she was marooned on this island is that several possible radio transmissions were heard in the week following her disappearance.
Oh, shit.
Coinciding with the tide, which would have been the time when the submerged plane radio would have been out of the water.
Oh, accessible.
Exactly. So had she crashed the plane, somehow steered the plane toward this island, parked it, or left it, I don't know,
a bunch of drinks today.
On the shoreline, or crashed next to the shoreline or something. Low tide is when she could definitely reach the radio and try to send out a signal to somebody. So first there was a teen named Betty who
good old Betty
claims she heard a transmission saying, "This is Amelia Earhart, help me." Then she heard arguing with a disoriented male.
Okay.
And then she heard, "Water's knee deep, let me out."
Oh.
This continued for 3 hours, guys. Betty sat there and listened to this, made a whole notebook of what she was hearing through her radio.
Wild.
Yeah, I have so many goosebumps right now.
I'm getting them. My leg hairs are growing.
And so then she told her father about this. The father then thought it was important enough to report to the Coast Guard.
As you should.
But was blown off since various reports of Earhart were heard globally.
Stupid. I have chills, but it's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pissed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm annoyed.
Because there were other reports, I didn't include in my notes, but there were other reports of, people in Canada, people in Nova Scotia, well, which I know is part of Canada, but, people in Nova Scotia, people in Canada.
And Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
You get it.
They, people that were so impossibly far away.
Right.
Where, of course, I definitely understand why those wouldn't be taken seriously. Not that I know that much about how radio transmissions work, but, enough. I understand that wouldn't have been taken that seriously. However, Betty did not live in any of those areas. Betty was very close. She was off of the Australian-New Zealand coast. So she definitely heard something.
Right.
And I think that was close enough to warrant some kind of investigation. But
you would think.
The Coast Guard doesn't like, saying that they're wrong.
It all boils down
to
not being right.
Mm-hmm. Now, following this conspiracy. So, in 1991, that Tiger Association is doing another search and excavation.
Okay.
They found a partial rubber shoe sole on Nicaragua.
Okay. That's right.
Thank you. Now, the bottom of the shoe sole read Cat's Paw Rubber Company, USA.
Okay.
Which, let's think about the geography here. How the hell would a shoe sole that was made in the USA end up there?
Right.
It would have been the same type of shoe that Earhart was seen wearing in a pic from Indonesia.
Which was her last place, right?
It was where she was before New Guinea.
Okay.
So she was there, I believe it was taken a week prior.
Okay.
So those would have been the same shoe she was wearing a week prior to her disappearance.
Okay.
Now, it was for a size 9 shoe, which would have been too big for Earhart.
Okay.
However, this is my own sidebar. Don't we think that you're flying all the time, maybe you just want to wear comfy shoes? I couldn't find her shoe size anywhere. If someone knows that, drop it down in the comments because I couldn't find that anywhere. But I mean, sometimes I wear shoes that are a size too big or a half size too big just to get an extra bit of comfy room. Yeah.
Also, when you're flying a lot, from my own experience, your feet swell like crazy. Even if you're up in the cabin, walking around, moving around, your feet are swelling because of the altitude change. So if, say her shoe size was 8, and she knew she was going to be in high altitude for hours at a time, i.e. flying, 40 days in a row.
Yeah.
Wearing his shoes a size bigger wouldn't be that big of a deal because her feet would be fucking sausage feet all the fucking time. She would have been swole.
Okay, so that's logical then.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, because they were making such a big deal about that. And one of the sources that I looked at, they were making such a big deal about that.
It's not.
I was that's not that big of a deal.
Listen, when I wear heels, I wear them a size up just because.
Yeah, because your feet swell.
And I want that space.
Yeah,
heels hurt. They pinch if they're too small.
Exactly. Yeah, so I didn't think that was that big of a deal.
It's not.
That it was a different size or whatever. But yeah, so that was found in 1991.
Okay.
Same year, they found a 23-inch by 19-inch aluminum piece of siding for a plane. So it is disputed over from what type of plane this is from. It is a very generic piece of aluminum siding. Hey guys, Delaney stepping in here really quick. This episode is going to end on an unfinished sentence, so I apologize for that. We had nothing but problems when we filmed this episode. Every time we try to film this episode, we have crazy technical issues that we never ever have. So the sentence that it ends on, I was basically telling Megan about the plane wreckage / plane parts that were found. The piece that I was describing to Megan was actually a aluminum piece of siding from a plane. They couldn't determine what specific plane, since it was pretty common for all planes to have similar siding at this point in time. There really was no more to say about it, just that this plane siding has been found. It's notable evidence, but it's not anything that can conclusively say one way or another as to who it belonged to, what plane it belonged to, or how it contributes to any of these conspiracy theories. But thank you for tuning in to episode 2. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, thank you. Thank you for hitting subscribe. Thank you for hitting follow. Thank you for liking us and supporting us. Thank you for your views. Please let me know what you think of part 1 of Amelia Earhart down below. We read every single comment, so thank you so much in advance for those. Please let us know what you think. Please let us know suggestions on conspiracies to cover. And please let us know if you have any drink suggestions too. We're always down for that. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you again in a couple weeks.